This morning, for the first time in humanity's long and storied history, the sun did not rise. It's a Vex simulation that has plunged the city into an endless night. Osiris and I could only think of one we might turn to. Mithrax. He claims to be among the last sacred Splicers. Those with the power to commune with machines. Find him, Guardian. Before the Vex do.
We must splice an entrance to the Vex network. I can guide you, but I cannot follow. Once inside, you must find your own way.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to Let's Play Destiny 2 with Rampancy.net. I'm Nargajan.
I'm Blackstar.
And we're here to do what we said we were going to do last week, but couldn't do because
reasons. Somebody wasn't ready with their wife's character.
We had intended to play the special opening mission of the season of the Splicer, reintroducing as a named character a Mithrax, and couldn't do it because you can't replay that mission on any account, and the only other account I had access to that hadn't played it already had not finished the prerequisite. This is my wife's Titan character, so what I had to do is I had to play through all of New Light, which is all the Cosmodrome stuff that brings you to the tower, and there was a nice glitch. There was a weird glitch there where when you go to the main part of the tower with Zavala there, and it's a solo instance, it's just you. There's no other player characters there. Yeah. It was normal. It was daytime out, and there were no Vex glitches. And then you walk through the tunnel, go down to Wakora, and suddenly it's night with all the Vex glitchy stuff. And you could walk back and forth, and it just went on like that.
Wow. So it was just wrong on so many levels.
Yep.
But we're back, and we're actually going to be continuing on with this. We're definitely going to be showing you the mission. I'm hoping we can do a replay of our recording, too. We're going to test to see if that works.
I think what I'll do is that after I play the mission, I'll stop the recording, and then I'll load it into the thing here, and we can play it back and scrub through it if we want.
Right. Now, it's just us. Is Jail or Leo with us?
No, I think everybody else was a maybe for this because, it's during the week.
I wasn't sure if I was there because I don't even have Mumble on. I just did.
No, I have it on, but I'm the only one there, so it's fine.
Okay.
And I've got the Discord, and it's the same thing. So we're doing this mostly because we promised we would.
Yes, and I felt so bad we couldn't last time. I mean, it was funny and all, but who wants to watch D2 if they don't have to, right?
By the way, it wasn't even just New Light. I also then had to play the first mission of Beyond Light and rescue Varix again.
Oh, no. You didn't have to buy anything, though. That's the big thing. You didn't have
I did not have to buy anything.
Good.
So let's see now. Now, it might dump me right in the mission because this is the first time I've launched this. Yes, here he goes.
First time in humanity's long and storied history, the sun did not rise. Osiris tells me it's a Vex simulation that has plunged the city into an endless night. It seems they have found a way to harness our energy against us. And even in all his wisdom, Osiris can offer no solution. I don't know what will happen if we can't break the Vex's hold over the city. I do know that we must protect our people, no matter the cost. The Vex are machines, and no one understands machines better than the Elixir. Osiris and I can only think of one we might turn to. Mithrax, Kell of House Light. My spies report he claims to be among the last sacred splicers, those with the power to commune with machines. He may be our best and only hope. Find him, Guardian, before the Vex do.
Are we watching Dramatic Black?
Yes, basically.
I was gonna ask.
Yep, and it's jumping me right into the mission now.
It's been a long time, Guardian. My hidden report that Mithrax was last seen on Europa, helping Varix evacuate Elixni defectors. Both the Vex and Aramis's loyalists are down there hunting for survivors, shooting anything that moves. Be sure to shoot back. We need Mithrax alive if he's to help us with our Vex problem.
Wow, shooting game where they're telling you, hey, make sure you shoot. Now, this is a new actress, right? This is not the same...
Yes, it's not Gina Torres.
No.
So the stunt casting era of Destiny is over.
You're closing in on some residual signals. It could be Elixni bound for House Light. Or it could be more of Aramis's loyalists. Clear the Vex and introduce yourself to the survivors. Make it known you're not a threat. Unless you need to be.
Or it could be that Gina's just busy working on her next season of Pearson.
Okay, so I got Risk Runner because that was the thing they give you at the end of that series of missions in New Light.
Lots of Arkies.
Not a whole
But yeah,
lot
look
of
at your light
choices.
level, 1141. Now, what's the current cap? 13 something?
1330 or 1350? I forget. One of them is a soft cap, one of them is a hard cap.
Yeah. I stopped caring about caps. When you need an Excel spreadsheet as big as you do to get this game, yeah, I gave up. Sorry, Bungle. Chasing the dragon is not how I derive enjoyment anymore. Not that it ever was.
Oh, through that.
You definitely tell that Jail isn't into this either. You know, it's nice having someone who's completely, you know, not a Bungie diehard fan to get their perspective. It's like, hey, does that guy have 4 arms? I love that. I thought that was awesome.
I wanted to see... Yeah, okay. So, we're currently in Eventide Ruins, and you can see by the symbol here, they've made this the, you know, the dark weather thing, the, you know, where it's the satellite are falling down.
Now, I do love the active weather features in this. You know, I love the fact that storms come up and everything. We've been asking that since, like, friggin' Halo 2, and I love the fact that it's here now.
Over there is the entrance to the Beyond Light raid.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the entrance to this mission. So basically, I haven't been back in Patrol, but I basically think, like, this cave doesn't exist in Patrol.
Or it's blocked off
so
somehow.
This is how you know you're in this mission.
Yeah.
And this
now,
mission
are you ever going to be raid ready
on the map? So presumably, if I back out of this and didn't finish, I could go back in for this. And
I wouldn't test it. Not now.
I'm not going
don't
to.
do it.
I am not going to.
Please don't.
But you can also see the recommended light level for this is 1150, so I'm only slightly below that.
Only slightly
It's not
below.
going to matter that much.
One would think, but you know, Bungie has a way of making it so.
Not sure how this ice is on fire, but never mind.
Empty. The Elixni cleared out before the Vex showed up. See if you can learn where they're headed.
A game level of ice and fire. Remember that Games of Thrones fans? Speaking of
ice
which,
and fire, not ice on fire.
Yeah, it was big semantics. Yeah, can you imagine being a fan of that series and then coming up to season 8?
Okay, terminal. Now this is going to be kind of weird. All right, so obviously something over there that's not usually there in Patrol.
Right. A ship crashed. My goodness. In a game like this?
Over their positions. Trigger, message repeat. This is Mithrax. To
Hi.
those who renounce the violence of House Salvation and seek refuge in the House of Light. I will be landing a skiff near Asterian Abyss. Bring only what you need. We must prioritize survivors over their positions. Trigger, message repeat.
Asterian Abyss. That's their rendezvous point. A single skiff recently touched down near your position. It's
Did
got
it?
to be Mithrax. Hurry, Guardian, before
Did
he
it
takes
touch
off.
down? Is that what we call that now?
You know, hey,
Okay, so-
every species has their pelicans. This is
You're gonna
theirs.
see what they do about this, but I can't figure out whether I like it or not. Like, obviously, it's
What, the scene? I think it's epic.
no,
I think
oh
it's
no,
great.
the scene is nice. I mean, the thing, he identifies himself. Now again, he's speaking to us in English, but he identifies
which is kind of
himself.
weird, but
And the subtitle says Misrax. There's Misraas.
Gesundheit.
Later on, it will be mentioned that but you humans, you call me Mithrax. Mithrax.
Which is
And I
typical of humans to
understand the
completely
idea
mispronounce things.
that
Believe me, I
they're
know.
trying to talk about, how, people don't understand each other when they're speaking different languages, and these aren't just people from other culture; they're alien races from another planet.
Oh yeah, we'd get everything wrong.
But it's still an actor speaking English to us, just pronouncing something in a slightly different way, and I kind of wonder. It's like, I can say Misrax. It's okay. Misrax, you're Misrax. If you're Misrax, I'll call you Misrax. What are we saying about Ikora Rey, the uber smart warlock, that she just persists saying Mithrax because humans be dumb like that? I don't know.
To be honest, I think what they were going for is something reflective of what actual humans would do. They tend to gravitate towards their own familiar things. Myth being a thing, myth being a name in our thing, myth being a Bungie game, hint, hint, nudge,
Right.
nudge. So, Mithrax,
But
that at least rolls off the tongue in human speak. I
don't
think
see
that's
that
what
much
they're
difference.
saying.
I think I would have appreciated the difference more if they had Misrax speak in a foreign language and then have that translated.
Well,
I think
you
that
know,
would have been fine.
No, to be honest, I like him speaking English, but that tells me he's made an effort. I like the fact that we're now understanding the Elixir more, because that just goes to show that our translators are now working and they happen more often. But, I mean, keep in mind, in our own name, how many decades has gone by everybody pronounce our name with a Z? Why is that? There's no Z in there. They don't pronounce the S's. So, yeah, I totally understand why we're mispronouncing his name. And to be honest, Mithrax sounds cool. Mithrax, yeah, okay.
I can't
it's
get over the
correct.
idea that they just
we be
changed
dumb.
his name and they're trying to kind of retcon spelling somehow. I don't know.
To be honest, they could simply be covering for a misspelling, you know? Believe me, I do that all the time.
Yeah, it could be. They could be covering for an inconsistency
Mithrax
in
is
lore
wrapped
card
up in
spelling.
some dangerous
Totally.
business. It's a bad time to ask for a favor, but he and his House of Light still worship the Traveler.
I love how this actually got me interested. You know, this is actually better than some of the other ones that they've done of late.
You shot my sparrow.
No, you bounced. You hit the ground
Oh, did
real
I?
hard. Yes, you did.
Whatever. Okay, so
Can't
and
drive.
the other thing is, Mithrax calls himself out as being in opposition to Aramis, the House of Salvation, who basically, it was kind of weird, remember, because when D1 came out, our enemies were the minions of darkness, right? All of them, and then
a
included
little
the Fallen.
generalized.
But the Fallen aren't minions of darkness. They're here following the Traveler because they worship it, and they go out of their way to make sure we understand that Aramis abandoned worship of the Traveler because, screw it left us. And
That's how cults
Mithrax
get
does
started.
not hold with that.
Yeah. So now we're going to have one more thing in the internet for them to yell about.
Someone brought down the skiff. Quick now. Secure
Yes,
the
we
crash
could-
site and assist the survivors.
You can see that over there.
Yes, because I've got all the band-aids and medical supplies one would need for an entire skiff full of wounded people.
I did
It's not like
see
I would
more than
call
one
assistance.
player streaming this who wanted to jump straight from where you could view this crash site and come straight
Oh, yeah.
across here. And of course, you
Yes.
can't actually do that.
Everybody wants a beeline. Come on. Point A, point B. Everybody always goes straight for the target. They
Darn it.
never go for the obstacles. And why did you throw a grenade?
Because that's my run key in almost all my other games.
Oh, wait a minute. You're not using your controller?
No, I am using the controller. It's just that left bumper is run in most of the other stuff I play.
Oh, why did you... Okay. I just figured you would have reconfigured the thing. Your preferences.
Running on pushing the stick is not something every game can do. And by the way, you can see that like this is not particularly hard, even for the light level. I mean,
Well, I was going to ask. I didn't know if you were milking this.
Don't leave their locations, and they're not pursuing me out here at all. And
Yeah, and also with this character being fresh, you have no top tier weaponry anyway. So, in fact, you just got a heavy recently. Before you didn't have one.
The Vex took
There we
down
go.
the ship and ambushed the Elixni defectors. There are
Meanies.
bodies in the snow. Nothing can
Yep.
be done for them now. Mithrax must have let a few survivors out, but they're completely exposed. Eyes up. Move.
Wait, what's this game rated? We don't want to expose survivors. Yeah, I know. So, what do you think of the new actress running her voice? Good enough?
I mean, she's fine. I heard people say, "Oh, I wouldn't have known." I'm like, get out of here.
Hey, some people,
Look, you can't tell Gina
they
Torres
don't
when you hear
pick
her.
up.
I don't know what to say. It
Yeah.
still sounds like
Cade was
Ikora,
more obvious,
but it
though.
doesn't sound like Gina Torres. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like actors
Well,
are
her
not
tone
their
is good.
characters.
Her tone
is
for
good.
the character is good. So,
and
props to the actress.
it's an old problem. I think that even games that are made for millions and millions of dollars just don't have the ability to cope with getting top tier voice talent when they need to fit their production schedules.
Well, of course,
Because of demand.
locations, contracts, time,
Or
all kinds of
it's
stuff.
just a situation that those people are too busy and you can't deliver your product when you want if you have to wait for them to be available. Or just somebody looks and say, well, we literally need an hour of VO for this one bit of DLC we're doing. And
Not to mention what they're worth,
to have a
value could have
good
gone up.
VO actor do that is going to cost this. And to have Gina Torres do it is going to cost that. Why are we doing that to ourselves? Let's cut it out.
reasons.
I don't know, but they've been getting rid of all of the well-known names, the TV movie known names.
To me, it's like, I understand them wanting to get, high star content from high star caliber contributors. I get it. But at the same time, for the timing and the scheduling of video game development, which is in a constant state of flux,
Well, you remember
those
Mig
aren't the
hated
most conducive.
You remember Mig hated it when they put the Firefly cast into Halo. He
You're
hated
close,
it because it kept
and they're
confusing.
picking up unusual energy spikes ahead. Be ready for anything.
Or else he felt,
such as
or he
better
felt that they
improvements?
were trying to confuse him. That it felt like
Could be.
they were trying to make him think of Firefly when he was playing Halo.
Want to say hi to Baron in the chat. He's actually been chatting
hey.
for a second.
Really? My chat must be lagging. All right, let it continue.
It's the small one.
The Guardian is almost here. Stay down. Stay quiet.
Don't make any sudden
How
movements.
do you know we can trust them?
I don't. What the light provides.
Great scene.
Guardian, I find you in the light. And on your signal, I call a ray.
Mithrax Kel, it is an honor. We've been searching for you for some time.
This is known.
Yeah.
You are not the only
Stop doing
one
that.
with hidden eyes. Many enemies pursue my house of light. We did not wish to be found.
Then times are desperate for us both. The Vanguard seeks your assistance.
I am aware. Vex systems pulse with talk of the city's endless night. But my people demand much protection. If this Guardian could assist me in blinding the Vex here, we can speak without risking more bloodshed.
Blinding the Vex. My Guardian will do whatever you need.
I have opened the door for you, Guardian. Will you walk the path of the sacred Splicer?
You first.
Sure, why not?
Oh,
It's the only way I'm gonna level up!
Did you send them
would not
into
let
a
me
Vex
push the method
simulation?
The path before them is no illusion. The Guardian ventures through the Vex domain itself, where the machines guard their most precious secrets.
No, no, no. We're in Tron. Welcome to Tron, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? I can't say I don't like it. Let's see. Baron in the chat says, yeah, you know, Ikora does not sound so different to me. Maybe it's my ears are broken. Maybe Bungie, of course, shouldn't have cast $1 million actresses back in 2013, 2014.
Yeah,
but I'm still sad about Peter Dinklage.
where are you seeing chat? Because I don't see...
YouTubes. I'm on the YouTubes. Maybe it's not
okay.
forwarding to...
I think it's not forwarding to the other system. Hold on.
That's why I always check both
Let me
chats.
see if I can- let me see if I
Baron
can
also
fix
says, yeah,
that.
if it was my Guardian, these fallen would quickly be fallen. LOL. To be honest, I've always felt a serious sympathy for the Fallen. I've never felt great about killing them. I always kind of saw them as the elites from Halo series where we eventually become allies, and I was really, really hoping that that had happened at the end of D1 as opposed to the wherever we are in D2. So, long road getting here. Glad we finally arrived. Man, I thought it took too long. But style-wise, though, I gotta love this art. I really, really do. You know, I love the color scheme. You know, it's very 80s sci-fi to me. It's got the very, you know, Tron theme with all the highlighted edges everywhere. Yeah, stylistically, I think it's cool. I'm actually interested in playing it. I don't feel like coughing up the money for it, though. But at some point, I may end up getting it. Because I would like to play through the story. All the story elements in Destiny, I still want to play, don't get me wrong. It's all the other things that they incorporate into it I am not a fan of.
Yeah,
Dark,
for some
we lose you?
reason, Restream does not see this stream as an option to link.
It is what it is. I'll just keep relaying if you want to copy and paste, but yeah, at
No,
least we can
I'll
see
just
Baron
open
in
it up
there.
in a window, but it just means like this is not showing at all in the Discord or anywhere else.
Yeah, these things happen. But anyway, all right, so look around, see where we're going, because I'm curious as to all the places I haven't been in this.
These environments I admit are cool, but I can never escape the idea that they do stuff like this, which is basically not done with a texture that's been made by hand, but is obviously some kind of a shader, right? You know, like there's a basic thing there that they use this to deploy environments quickly.
So what are you saying? This is not real game development? I mean, oh no, they should have made this by hand.
No, but well, they spend so much time making the rest of it that way, though. Like the
I
company
don't
that makes
discern on that
Fallout
level.
makes like a rock and places that rock over and over and over again. You know,
I know, but you make it sound like, oh, you did that with your hands? That's a baby's toy. I'm like, huh? Yeah, no, I don't distinguish on that depth of a scale. Personally, I think this looks great.
Clear the way.
By the way, it's super easy to kill yourself on this. If you
Oh,
jump
totally.
onto this thing and slide down, it seems made to kill you.
Yep. Oh, it's to make sure that you're paying attention, Guardian.
I guess.
But I also can't escape that this also, and pretty much the rest of the game, feels very much like, you know, the Infinite Bridge that they added. Now that you can see more of everything.
Forester.
Yeah, well, I call it the Infinite Bridge because that's what people were calling it. Yeah.
Move freely through space. None but our most skilled splicers can even perceive. The light shines strong within you.
And you know what? From a game
I've been
design
moving through
perspective,
space since I was a baby.
yeah. From a game design perspective, though, that's pretty much what all the environments look like. It's just that you don't see the you know, infinite bottom or the infinite top. You're more in a closed box. So from a development standpoint, they're like, what are you talking about? This is what it looks like all the time. You just don't see behind it. It's almost like fourth wall breaking, you know?
Yes, what I'm saying is wireframe isn't usually considered finished. And this is way more than wireframe.
Right, but it's a style, not a you know, incorporative design element for reasons. I mean, Infinite Forest just had a different look to it. Same basic skeleton, though. Yeah, you don't have any heavy.
I screwed myself out of the heavy screwing around with the sword, which I knew I was doing.
Kinda. Out of there.
Ah,
Oh, what? Okay. It's an interesting design choice. Why did you run at him?
I was gonna punch him.
Oh, well, that would have worked. He had full shields. You get some heavy now. Oh, no, wait, the rocket on that one red guy, really?
Hold fast, Guardian. I will alter the fabric of this Vex system to aid you.
See what I mean? Infinite Forest. Indoor bridge. Yeah, too bad you don't have a sniper. Yeah, see, those are the ones you use rockets on. Now, do you like this more or less than the other, type of environments that the Vex have had? Does this seem out of,
Yes, I don't know. It seems more Vexy than the Infinite Forest, I guess.
Okay. It's like when you heard about the Vex, for years and all the places that we've had to fight them before, does this environment seem going with the grain or against it in your eyes?
Against it, given that the first environment you think of this being truly of the Vex was the Black Garden.
Vault of Glass.
No, the Black Garden, because you go there in the solo campaign.
Really, I always saw
and
the Vex
before
as
you go-
being there, not the Vex being from there. Do you know what I mean? Like it still, felt like you were on a planet or whatnot. This looks like, VR Matrix realm type stuff. Which wonders, why there are all these military positions and people everywhere. Kitty saying hi. Hi, Kitty. Loey. Loey saying hi. Now you have your super.
Oh, is there?
Don't
Oh, there's no
did you
floor
fell
here.
off? Whoa! Oh my god, that was legitimately scary. Can you get back up?
Maybe.
Oh, dude, you so lucky. There we go. Rocket opportunity.
Oh, they bunched up.
That's what they're supposed to do. Louie's looking for lunch and disappointed I don't have any.
Been fed already.
Oh, I'm sure she has, but she always gets some of my salmon.
Ooh, what I get? I get a fusion rifle.
Your favorite.
Solar fusion. Yeah, I do. I mean, they are my favorite weapon.
It's got way more
class.
impact than Risk Runner.
Oh, well, yes. But here the
Look
most
at the
important thing is that
impact.
I'm doubling up on primary ammo, so I shouldn't be using that
Well, yeah.
in here anyway, so I might as well switch.
Probably not.
What's the matter?
You are farther than I have ever been. Find the Vex Curator, destroy it, and claim the living code woven through its core.
No,
'Cause
I'm
that's a
not your
thing.
father. I promise I'm not
So,
your father.
question is, do you think we're going to earn Mithrak's trust?
Depends on what you mean by we. Like
Guardians.
Me as a character? Guardians
No,
as
Guardians.
a faction?
Guardians as a element in this world. I suppose Fallen being their element, Vex being their element. Do you think Mithrax and the Guardians will ever earn trust?
Yes. The real question would probably be whether it's warranted.
Well, my question is when. Because it took a long time to get here. It's going to be another long 5-6 years before it says, okay, yeah, I can trust you guys. Okay, I see a super opportunity. Man, you should have reconfigured your controller.
Yeah, I should.
Why didn't you? Careful, he's gonna stop you. Oh, get out of there, get out of there. Super's over. Oh, you didn't have a retreat plan, did you? Thank God there are all these chest-high walls.
Wouldn't have been very titan of me if I did.
Nope. But again, sniper. Sniper's coming great. Very handy right here. Yeah, plinking with an AR at this distance wouldn't have been my first choice. Yeah, see, now you're in your element. Now you got your fusion. Oh, duck. That chest high wall's not as low as the others. Yeah, I hate to admit it though, I like the aesthetic. Oh, that's a little far. That's better. Oh, you missed! You missed the Mithrax. Yeah, wouldn't it be funny? We call it, you can't hit anything, we'll call them Mithrax. Oh, now they're just like respawning. So not fair, Bungie. I gotta say, this is a pretty good fusion. I'm impressed.
That's
Quick,
okay. The
flank
fire
them.
pattern isn't always that great, but
Yeah, I still can't get over the Tron aesthetic. I mean, you see it, right? I mean, you remember the original film. Ooh, good hit. Hell, even the music. Yeah, what do you think of the music for this?
well, this music's good.
Here we get another new soundtrack.
Although you notice that, like, if you took the mission seriously and were higher leveled, like, you'd barely get to hear it, right? Because this fight would already be over.
Well,
Like, this fight does obviously not need to be going on this long. They're literally dragging this out.
I thought you were milking it.
Yeah. But if we didn't, like you said, like, this can be over in 5 minutes, the whole thing.
Well, I was worried that it was going to be, so yeah, I didn't know how much you were going to milk
I
it.
prefer to play this way anyway, though, so...
Well, yeah, you always have more of a tactical, slow pace to things versus Funk, which it just runs itself and doesn't stop. I always thought being more tactical felt more immersive.
Yeah, I mean, like, behave as if the situation is as serious as the plot tells you it is.
Yes, yes, and that's why for me, immersion is always the biggest thing. Whether it be doing this one
I'm not
or
gonna punch that guy. Because I also do know that I think that this ends right away as soon as you kill that guy anyway. So.
yeah.
Oh, cheats.
Well, it is their game, so. Get away. Yeah, we're not gonna get a copyright strike for this music, are we?
No, I don't think so.
Ah, one would hope not.
Get in on this guy.
Wow, you literally got your super bag. There you go. One fall on you.
No, do not fall to that lightless place.
Okay, start with the fleeing. Oh, Womprat's in the chat. Hi, Womprat. He says, Myth Rex, Oedipus Rex, T-Rex. Yeah, too many Rexes. Now, are you being chased? What are we running from?
Yes.
Oh god, it's one of the screens! I'm sorry, run faster.
Another power works against me, pushing back. This is troubling.
Now, I hate to admit, I had a hard time in one of these things simply because I missed the timing and could not get it back for the
Yeah, I
life of me.
think they really wanted it so that you're running just as it gets there instead of jumping ahead, because then you jump ahead
Yeah.
for where it is and it disappears just as you land on
Yes. That happened to me like 10 times.
it. Oh.
Oh, did you make it?
System is collapsing. Hold strong.
Oh.
No, they
another exit.
make you think like you're gonna exit and then they do this to you.
Yep. Oh my god, tension building!
Yep. You pulled an Eris.
Vex signals
Yep.
are dissipating from your region. They're leaving.
Yes. With the core you hold, the secrets of the Vex reveal themselves to us. To study such an artifact would benefit us both. But there is no time. My people must move on if we hope to survive.
Mithrax, I saw those who wished to join you dead in the snow. Let them be the last to fall. Come, shelter in our city. You and your people.
Ikora Kel, can you offer the Elixni such a thing?
I
Gotta
just
find out.
did. You'll be under the Vanguard's protection. The Vex are the enemy here, and any Lightbearer who disagrees can take it up with me.
Then we accept. With light in our hearts, we will join you in your city, beneath the Traveler.
Ooh, Wombrat's in the chat. He goes, the Vex, a digital frontier. I tried to picture clusters of information as they moved through the computer. What did they look like? Ships? Motorcycles? Sparrows?
Just people playing Ultimate Frisbee, really.
Yeah, do you think so?
My people shelter beneath the Great Machine. This is beyond simple generosity. I must thank Ikora for her gift.
This sanctuary is not granted by Ikora alone, but by all who live in the last city.
Yes, and on their behalf, let me extend a welcome. I am Osiris, and this is Lakshmi too, future War Court leader and city representative.
My greatest appreciations to you both. The House of Light thanks you.
Your house can best show gratitude by keeping to itself. I know your assistance with the Vex will benefit us all, but not everyone in the city is so open-minded. You appear to be settling in. I will leave you to it.
If you require further help from us, you must only ask.
I shall. There are several modifications we will need for stable ether production.
Submit a proposal to Ikora. She seems willing to get you anything you need. I must return to the people in the city. Future War Court has foreseen great misery for them in the days ahead, and they will need an advocate. I often forget how highly those in the tower have placed themselves. The air is thin there. Best not to breathe too much of it.
You must understand this situation is tense for us all. This encampment perches on the edge of decree and democracy. I hope your stay with us will be uneventful.
As do I.
I get what they mean by decree. I'm not really sure what they mean by democracy. Like, the heads of the Vanguard aren't elected as far as we know. And the heads of the factions either, I'm not sure.
I'd have to go look back at the political situation, but yeah. I'm sure there's somebody out there who's a
All right,
diehard
now,
fan and be able
I
to elaborate.
I want to check in here and see if the audio diaries... Okay, so there is... I think there are audio here now.
Yeah, because I did not hear any of these.
Elixni houses are more than tribes for sharing work and resources. They also represent living philosophies. In many ways, the House of Light is traditional. We worship the Great Machine, and we embrace ancestral roles like splicers and scribes. But in other ways, we're different. My father, Mithrax, is Kel of our house, but he does not act as past Kels. He does not take more than his share of ether, and he does not punish by docking limbs. These are radical, but popular ideas in our house. However, Mithrax Kell also believes in peace and cooperation with humanity. This is less popular. Everyone in our house has seen Elixni killed by guardians. Not just warriors, but innocents and hatchlings. I lived for many years among the Awoken, and understand that humans do good things as well. Sometimes. But the others in the House of Light have not been so lucky in their allies as I have. It will take time to earn their trust.
Okay,
so that was
here's why
Mithrax's daughter.
Yes. So here's where I start to have some problems with the scenario.
It's the VLC. It's the cones.
No. Actually, no, it's fine. Although that, I mean, it seems like it wouldn't be much to make that an interactable object.
I was wondering because
okay,
I was like, wait a minute, this is a real stiff cone here. It's not moving, but okay. It's guardian proof.
There are lots of different ways that individuals or a faction that used to be your enemy can.
Oh, can you do a 3D view? I want to see more of the environment.
Yeah, can cease hostilities, right? Like
No, I mean a third
individual
party.
soldiers or leaders can surrender, and currently they don't usually negotiate for that, but there are treaty conventions that display, if you surrender, this is how you'll be treated, supposedly.
Right. Can you put on a sword? Because that way you give more of the. I'm just thinking the most you can do in the least space. I always like to third perspective. Yeah. So just equip it. There you go.
Yeah.
Yes,
but also,
Chloe, it's the Fallen.
a leader of a faction. So basically what we're getting here is that Mithrax is a Fallen, but he's atypical for Fallen, and he's saying, we're not with the guys you're fighting. We don't want to fight anymore.
Yeah.
And we're just being told we're one of the good ones. We're progressive Fallens. We don't do all these regressive things that other Fallen do, like
we don't chop off limbs because
punishing our members by ripping off their limbs, or making them say. Now, I think we're going to find out in one of these up here that basically that what we're looking at here are like juvenile forms of Fallen, and what Mithrax is, or bigger, is supposed to be normal adult. Everybody here is not a child. They are malnourished, basically.
Yes, they're not getting ether that they need to grow, which, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I like it. Womp Rat in chat says, stiff cone? That's what she said.
But the problem of linking these two things is that basically what we're saying is that we might accept this faction of Fallen as allies, or at the very least non-combatants, because they don't do those things, right? Because they're not as bad. Suggesting that if they were, then we would not.
But I thought that the problem also comes up is that basically Guardians are child murderers.
Yeah, and you know what? On the one hand, I think it's realistic to basically say this is a war that's been going on for a long time, and there are war criminals on both sides. On the other hand, as a player, I'm thinking, I don't remember seeing non-combatant Fallen that I ever shot in any mission.
Right, but think of all the places and how long it's going on. Somebody must have done something sometime.
Right, but Destiny's got this
Maybe
weird
not
thing where,
intentionally,
like, you're
but
one
you
guardian,
blow
but
up
you're
a ship.
also... You're one guardian, but you're also every guardian. And what they're saying
Yeah,
here
well,
is that
exactly.
lots of guardians have done a thing that you've never done.
And for people with consciences or empathy, they're like, wait a minute, I didn't know I was blowing up ships full of kids.
And part of it, I know, is to balance out the other part of the story, which is that Saint 14 tells how Fallen have eaten human babies. They're war criminals. He doesn't want peace with them.
Right.
So this
and
is
I'm
to
wondering
both
how much
sides
that comes up in the story.
This is to both sides that.
Mm-hmm.
Humans think of ether as food for Elixni, a form of sustenance. That's only partially true. Ether also catalyzes physical maturation and promotes molting. In that sense, it's like hormones in human adolescence. In a world of unlimited ether, like Rees before the whirlwind, all Elixni look like captains. That's our final form. Most Elixni you see now are underdeveloped. They're forever stunted by ether rationing, which began as a necessity and gradually evolved into a mechanism of social control. Now, ruthless leaders like Spider use the distribution of ether to keep their followers dependent. If Elixni are ever to live in peace, we must make ether available to all, regardless of rank.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if Spider's going to end up being a casualty at the end of this at some point. You know, I mean, he was the most interesting mob-style character in a long time, but now it's like, well, you know, he's being a serious problem in this current, you know, political climate here, whereas, you know, his criminal behavior is now inflicting problems on allies, where before we didn't care because, hey, we just shot up the babies, but now it's like, wait a minute, this is hurting an ally here, and that might have to change, and I doubt he's going to be as welcoming of that.
Spider's not much of an ally, and they already made him kind of questionable in his involvement in the Crow line, where he, you know, he basically he put a bomb on his ghost. And,
right. He was a necessary evil. I never saw him as an ally, though I did find his performance and his character in the writing the most interesting and some of the coolest in a while.
Oh, sure.
But that doesn't make him good.
During our golden age, the Elixni civilization spanned many star systems, farther than humanity could imagine. And in all of our exploration, we never found anything more wondrous than the Great Machine. It's one of the few things that all Elixni houses can agree on. That's why shrines like these are made of many small pieces. Each bit was added by a different house. It's a tradition that lasted generations. Most of those houses are now extinct, and their members are scattered. It's funny. I revered the Great Machine all my life, without ever having seen it. And now that it's right overhead, I still look to this shrine for comfort.
It is a ball of junk, and you've been lugging it around the galaxy. On the other hand, I mean, it almost seems to me like a servitor would be a better shrine to the traveler.
Well, maybe it's like a Christmas tree. They disassemble it every year and then put it back together.
He wanted to turn on a flashlight, but there isn't any way to do that without getting rid of the sword.
Well, I was wondering, because you kept going to your thing during, like, critical moments. I was like, what are you doing? Stop that. We're missing bits. But yeah, see, I feel really, really bad because I did not do any of this on my run-through. I did not listen to all the different... Nope.
Oh,
I looked around real quick, but no, I didn't stay long.
But you know what? It didn't tell you anything. Like, it literally left you facing him with the message, go to the helm and talk to the servitor.
Yes.
And
so if you
don't
do that...
You can come back here anytime, and if you haven't triggered the audio, you can get it again. But
okay, well, that's good. So that I might end up doing.
But it's not easy
my
to
first
find
run,
this.
I missed it.
It's not easy to find this either, because on the map, this is a sub-area of the helm, not of the tower.
Yeah, and it's not a quick area you can beam into, is there?
No, yes, but you have to access it through the
point?
helm. You have to look at the map for the helm and then go here.
Yeah.
It's not on the top level of the map, and it's not in the tower.
Womp Rat's quote, he goes, yeah, the future depends on what we do in the present. Mahatma Gandhi.
Hello, my name is Ido. My father is Mizrax, Kel of our house.
Give me that.
I took my name from his first awoken friend, Sir Ido. As scribe for the House of Light, it's my job to preserve our house's history, so that hatchlings may one day learn our stories. Mizrax Kel requested that I leave some records for the humans of the last city, so they might learn about Elixni culture in their own time. As he says, inside a ketch, everyone breathes the same air.
I love she changed her tone.
That the humans will care to hear our stories. The snipers who look down on us do not seem like the curious types. But the Great Machine has chosen them, so I must give them the benefit of my faith. Hopefully this effort does not go wasted.
I'm starting to like her. She's got a sense of humor.
No farting on the catch.
Well, you know, it makes me think that this opportunity, that hopefully in the lore there will be like a massive cultural exchange of information that might become, you know, make them more sympathetic to people that would be otherwise dismissive, or might change people's perceptions. That to me, I think, could be a really cool opportunity. But again,
Also,
I haven't played any of it. I don't know where it's going, if at all.
What cargo container of branded merch did Ikora break open that we've got basically like Vanguard branded sleeping bags?
Yeah, would they find that insulting? I mean,
I don't know. I mean,
are they going to come up with their
maybe?
own House Light versions? That would be funny.
I don't know. A couple of throw
Where do
pillows.
these throw pillows come from? Yeah, where do we get the stuff to stuff the
That's
pillows?
the big one. I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna save that for last.
Oh, for the end? Well, you know, it's funny. The one you just did where she introduces herself, that should have been the one closest to you when that first conversation ended.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
So,
that should have been the introduction.
Is this a catch or is it a brig? Okay, it's a
It
skiff.
would be both.
It's a skiff.
Many Elixni spend their whole lives on ships. They become more than a home. They're like a member of the family. Mizrax found me in the vent of a wrecked ship, you know. We joke that my father is a Splicer and my mother is a catch.
She's quite a catch.
After the fall of our homeworld, Reese, Elixni scattered across the stars. Having lost our grounding, catches evolved from modes of transportation into permanent homes. Even after Elixni began to resettle in places like the reef, we never lost our reverence for the machines that kept us alive. Now, after so much wandering, it's hard to believe that there's real ground beneath us and a real sky above.
I thought that might have been a brig because I think a giant brig is the enemy that you fight in this area when it was a combat area.
Mm-hmm. Well, still though. But yeah, hearing that dialogue though, and feeling the you know, characters, I have a lot of empathy, even more so than before.
Don't know where there is stuff and where there isn't stuff because there's a bunch of just like bombed out buildings where there's just nothing really here. I'm also thinking like, was there really no room in the tower? Or you just felt like stuffing people down here in the bombed out ruins?
As Latchme said, the last thing that they want to do is give idiots the opportunity to ruin this potential. Do you know what I mean?
You mean idiots like Lakshmi? Yeah, you're right. Good point.
Yeah, idiots like, you know, Billy Joe Sixpacks, who are still incredibly racist and pissed off, who have lost family and friends, and they're harboring a lot of anger and whatnot. That could completely ruin whatever potential they have for changing their relationship.
Yeah. The thing is, though,
so
like,
yeah,
Lakshmi's
fewer
not
incidents
doing
like that, the better.
Lakshmi's not doing that to protect from the other racists. She's doing it because she does not want those people up there.
Yeah, well, you know,
and again, you get that out of some of the later missions where she literally says, "There's going to be a tragedy. It's caused by this, and I saw it because I used a Vex device that tells the future. Trust me, it's okay."
Yep.
Okay, tank.
Here lies the remnants of Kel's Scourge, a dark period in Elixni history.
Yeah, we got our own.
I think this is that
After the
boss.
whirlwind, many Elixni were overcome by feelings of hopelessness. They were homeless, hungry, and hunted by guardians and Hive alike. So when Civics founded Kel's Scourge, promising to return Elixni to power with ancient weaponry, many were drawn to his call. Though the Scourge claimed to fight for Elixni empowerment, in reality, they represented the final degradation of our culture. A once great interstellar civilization was reduced to an anarchist mob, led by a power-hungry coward. Let ours be a cautionary tale. No matter how enlightened a culture, there are always those who prey on our worst impulses for their own gain.
Or
Yeah, we hate those
unenlightened,
people.
as the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting that they allow this to play here.
Oh, Wombat says, yeah, is it just me or does her voice remind me of Tally from Mass Effect? You know, it does.
Similar.
What's the actress?
Similar effects. I don't think it's the same actor.
Still, though. Well, hopefully they won't change her character actress in a couple of years. That's a good piece of music, too. Now, does this all make you want to buy the next
one?
one?
This is from the Deepstone Crypt. This is the lullaby. I guess there are no prompts out here.
I wasn't sure if you mapped them all.
before I go and do the one that I know that is Saint 14.
Yeah, what's he got to say? I'm like worried
Oh,
now.
it's not him. They're just talking. They're talking obliquely about him.
Well, I think the real victory would be him changing his mind. You know, that's something I would like to see.
It hasn't happened yet, but again, I'm not keeping up mostly because I literally can't.
Yeah, well, that's just it. So, you know, I'm curious. From this stage, because we're going in blind and because we haven't continued, these are the things that I would hope for. These are the things that I would want to see come to fruition. Would be that he finally gets a chance to change his mind about how he feels about them.
Let's do this one.
Some Elixni tell hatchlings that these wards keep guardians from attacking us in our sleep. We know this is not true, of course, but it helps hatchlings to rest peacefully. Soon enough, they must learn that the guardians cannot be stopped by such things. That they cannot be stopped at all, even by death. After that, the ward changes meanings. For grown Elixni, it's a reminder that the Great Machine blesses life givers and killers alike. But now that we have seen the Guardians among their own people, taking orders and making awkward small talk, I don't think this tradition will continue in the House of Light. We no longer see Guardians as monsters, just people. Frightened and misguided.
So yeah, that is supposed to be literally Saint 14, you know, the color of his hit gear, but also done as paint splatter that kind of makes you think of blood splatter. So
yeah, well, it also in, you know, his headdress, but yeah, they see us as misguided, and yeah, maybe there's some things that have to change with us, and I think that change or that dynamic altering within the whole Guardian philosophy as well as implementation of military power, I think would be an interesting change to see. I think changing one's focus changes one's reality, so I'm curious whether that's going to happen or not, and
I think
if it does, with who.
I think I feel sorry for whatever designer had to go in and put this line of cones around this edge.
Oh, not just line of cones, fixed lines of cones.
Yeah, yeah.
They are permanently welded to that concrete.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's a ghost. Hold on, I think
that must have taken a lot of JB Weld. Not a sponsor. Oh, it's a ghost?
Yeah.
Don't tell me you're gonna steal it.
I discovered this shell among spider supplies. Many Elixni fear Guardians, but delight at your ghosts. We think of them as extensions of the Great Machine's will, deserving of reverence. When we arrived here, we were surprised to discover that many Guardians treat their ghosts like equals, or worse, like servants. Guardians throw their lives away for sport, in games like Crucible or Gambit, taking the miracle of resurrection for granted.
Now that I totally agree
As
with.
if ghosts needed the humans and not the other way around. Elixni have had their blessings from the Great Machine, it's true, but we've never known the power that ghosts grant humanity. I think that if Elixni became Guardians, we would use the light to serve the Great Machine, not our own amusement.
They live in a backpack.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. They see it as amusement. They see it as a waste, which to my perception, yeah, that's pretty close to it. But there's also an element of training, of becoming better, of improvement, of becoming better warriors and better combatants and better servants of humanity and whatnot. So there is that element to it too. So for a training aspect, yes, but unfortunately it is devolved into sport, into an event, into, things to gamble on. And in that instance, yeah, I totally agree with it, that it's completely misguided and a waste and rude.
As a counterpoint, though, when she says stuff like, well, if we had your power, we would use it to serve, the Traveler.
Yeah,
But,
the great
but
machine.
remember, like, the Traveler's never spoken to us directly, and the one guy who claimed to speak to it or for it is, is gone out of this game. So other than just the gift of the power, we don't even know what we're supposed to be doing other than fighting the things that are fighting us,
Right.
but that includes these guys too. Like I said,
Yeah,
whether they're retconning the original game where these guys aren't minions of the darkness and never really were.
Right, but as a species, we're acting like children are who found their parents' gun.
Lixney used chopsticks, apparently.
Hey, who doesn't?
This Shank has been with us for many years. She is temperamental, but loyal. She's in need of constant repair, but we're used to it. Our house has fixed every part of her, from sensors to exhaust. So when I look at her, I don't see an object. I see the members of my house. I see myself. To us, machines are vessels, not just tools. This is why scrapworking is so important to Elixni culture. It's a way of sharing our spirit with the world, even when we have nothing. I'm sure that Guardians feel the same way about their tower. It's more than a hollow form, more than the rubble it was built from. The tower is the keeper of the Vanguard spirit, and you would defend it more fiercely than any other building. Is it not so?
It's not so. We abandoned that first one as soon as we could, and now we've got a new one.
Yeah, but she's not alone in the philosophy that people imbue things or physical
sure.
objects with the feelings and emotions that one has. And to be honest, yeah, I would feel the same way about things. Is that romanticism? Oh, Womprat asks, yeah, would eating with chopsticks be easier or harder with 4 arms? I would say easier, because you
Easier.
imagine
You could
having
use
to
2
wash
pairs.
all of them all the time.
You could use 2
can you
pairs
ma-
of them.
Well, that's just it. I mean, it would cost more chopsticks, but I think as far as having to wash up all the time when you eat, yeah, because washing 4 hands every single time, every time you take a bite with something.
You would definitely not be allowed to stab anything with them.
Hopefully not. Assuming they're made of wood. They might be made out of metal for all I know.
Okay, there's a barrier. There's a barrier up
Oh,
there.
there's a
Not allowed
barrier.
to go,
Oh, you've-
not allowed to go higher than that. Bonk.
Yep. Bungie's decided, nope.
Oh, well.
This is as far as your fun goes, mister.
I think that may be it. Do a quick run through the middle to make sure I'm not missing.
Okay. Where do you want to go from here?
I could probably jump into some version of one of the D1 strikes that they added back,
Okay.
just to kind of round out the string.
Chloe has to wait for me to be streaming to be poking me in the legs.
Yeah, okay. I don't think there's anything else over here. Nope. Okay, so let's go. I don't think Mr. X says anything more here, but there will be more dialogue from the other character
Now,
we meet in the helm.
How long before forum arguments break out about the pronunciation of his name? You know what's going to happen. There's going to be an entire Reddit
Everybody
thread.
I know is arguing like, is Lakshmi a bad guy now? That's what everybody's arguing.
Well, everyone potentially could be, but I'm just wondering. It's like
Yeah.
it's going to be
Oh
one
my
more
God.
thing for
He doesn't-
nerds to argue about. Should we be seeing this?
He doesn't have collision.
And you immediately go to stare at his junk. What does that say? Funk would be having way too much fun with us if he were here. Now, was this an oversight technically, or is this?
I don't know.
You know,
I didn't notice this the first time it came down. I didn't think to try to walk through Mithrax.
Don't mention his head.
Yeah, and you can't zoom in here because you basically can't do anything with the gun.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I switched to a sword, but I can't use it. All right. So anyway. So yeah, this location is not on this map, and it's not on the submap of the tower. You've got to go here to this new location,
the helm.
And
Kind of weird, but
it's
okay.
over here is the mission to speak to the servitor, and over here is the Elixni quarter. So where you get back to that area is through this icon.
A whole quarter, not 2 nickels and a dime.
Nope.
Or 2 dimes and a nickel.
Scythian Harbinger. No, Wombrat, I don't get that reference, actually.
Is that your favorite shop on the Citadel? Use me.
Despite it saying both Citadel and Harbinger, I'm not sure that's a Mass Effect reference. I could be wrong.
No, I know. They were mentioning it last time. My name is Mithrax, and this is my favorite.
Oh, hey, we flew into an advertisement.
Oh my God! Welcome to Season of the Splicer. 14 out of a billion.
No, I don't have any of these.
So now we're on the space station, right? This was an element of a couple of seasons ago.
I think it's a ship, actually. I think
Is it?
we're on the command deck of a ship. Yeah, because if you look out the window, you
Is
can
it a
still
ship?
you can see the hangar, and then outside the hangar is
Okay.
the city, and the city is
I thought
covered
there
by
was
the
a space
Vex
station in orbit. but
simulation nonsense.
Okay. Yeah.
No. The raid goes to a space station. This,
is that
as
what
far
it
as
is?
I can tell, is just a ship.
Whose ship?
I don't know. The
My
faction
ship?
that
Your
wanted to
ship?
run away was Dead Orbit, so maybe it's theirs.
Right. I don't know. We haven't seen anything from Dead Orbit in forever. I mean, we've seen Latchme, we've seen Ada, we've seen a bunch of people, but... Ooh, stuff and things. Oh, Wompert says, yeah, during Season 3 of Deep Space Nine, there was a PC video game called Deep Space Nine Harbinger. Oh, see, I have not played that one. I played The Fallen, which, ironically, I figured you were going to quote at some point. But, yeah, DS9 The Fallen, that was one of my favorite Star Trek games. I've always wanted to do that. In fact, didn't we do that? Or didn't we do a beginning level? I did some testing. I can't remember if we actually streamed it. I've always wanted to. I struggled to get, because it's so old, I struggled to get one working in either an emulator or on one of my Macs, and I could not get it to run reliably.
So down here you can see Human and Fallen interacting, I guess. If by interacting
Yes.
I mean standing near each other and doing idle animations.
It's like, no, you need a Tic Tac. I have to say that their mastering of English is quite spectacular. I doubt we would remotely do as well, speaking of Elixni. Now, welding with 4 hands, that could be fun.
So the Fallen are working and the humans are supervising it. Interesting.
I would think they would be like the best welders. They'd be better at it than us.
True.
Oh, Womprat says, yeah, in DS9 Harbinger, it featured a very unusual situation of having to communicate with the aliens. I'm curious. I want to look that up now.
An alert sounds from the servitor as you approach. On a small view screen, a wireframe image of a cube appears. An access port slides open and the cube changes to a single word, analyze. You take the cube of living code you claimed from the Vex on Europa and hold it in your palm. Its corners and edges move, reforming endlessly in your hand. You place it into the servitor. Wow, we didn't even buy dinner first.
Not even a movie.
The servitor scans the cube with a field of soft light for several moments, then emits a chime and the text changes. Stable. A pictogram suggests that the cube is somehow still connected to the Vex Nexus, or as we call it, the Vexus. Mithrax will be able to study its secrets, and just by holding it, you're able to access certain permissions from the deep Vex networks.
It's so deep.
The
My
readout
network.
changes once more. Utilize. You nod as you claim the Paradrome Cube. So this is the seasonal artifact. This
Ah, gotcha. Which I never quite figured out, but okay. They're basically an upgrade path for different attributes over
it's
time.
a way of doing a rolling reset on your access to mods. So
Right.
basically, instead of mods being consumable, where you insert them into armor or a weapon and they stay there, in this
Yeah.
case, what happens is that you start out with no mods at the beginning of a season, and as you rank up in the season, you choose which ones to unlock. And having unlocked it, you can then slot it into any compatible slot on any weapon, but you don't have a limited supply. It's not like you can say,
Yeah.
well, I can't put this mod on this assault rifle because I might get a better one and I don't want to pay, I don't want to have to grind for it again. Once it's unlocked, you've got it. But once the season ends, everybody gets reset back to zero. You get a new artifact and
Yeah.
you need to advance this tree again to get access to stuff. And here's where they've made...
Conceptually, yeah, I understand how they implemented it, and this is obviously, evolved over time with this. Personally, I've always been more of a fan of the Mass Effect style of opening skills, where you learn something over time, you improve it over time, and that's always with your character because that skills you're applied to a character. Whereas this is all flexible, it all goes away, it all resets back to zero, and you got to start all over again.
Yeah,
and I'm sure that's great for them making you play on, but I'm not a fan of redoing stuff like that.
Yeah, in single-player RPGs, the progression is usually permanent. You know, you make a bunch of choices, and by the end of the game, you
Yes.
either have everything or you've made choices, and if you want different choices, play the game again. You know, you can't have
Or do a new
everything.
character, or whatever, right. So,
But in this one, to keep people progressing infinitely, you either need to make the whole thing very, very long, or you have to reset people back to zero once in a while. And this game does both in various ways.
yep. Yeah, because they love
so-
that.
And so here are the mods that are essential, because all of the challenging content, you know, the advanced, the higher difficulty versions of everything, of strikes, of lost sectors, of the all the other activities, are about overload and unstoppable champions that basically will be immune to most of your regular weapons if you don't have one of these kinds of mods. And since there's two kinds of champions and some activities feature both kinds of champions, you need to have at least one person with at least one of each type of mod on one of their weapons to successfully do the content.
Womprad in chat says, yeah, it's a Borg Paradrome on course for Sector 001. The best of both min-maxing worlds. Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
And here's what I mean about the icons, right? Because this one is the one for unstoppable. This one goes on a sidearm. So basically what they tell you is basically a whole weapon class that a lot of people ignore if they're not in certain kinds of content is now one of the types of weapons that you need to have if you want to fight this kind of enemy in the content.
Yeah,
and the
that I'm not
icon
a fan
for
of.
it is that little, these three lines that make a square.
Yep.
But that shape by itself doesn't mean anything to me. Just like this barrier one, which is triangles, doesn't really mean anything. And this one for overload doesn't really mean anything.
to me. Yeah, we heard
So you got to remember, okay, what kind of champions are in this content? Okay, fine. Fine, overload. Which is overload? Is that the one that looks like a
I gotta go
lightning
look this
bolt,
up on a
or is it the
Wikipedia
one that
page.
looks like the triangle, or what is it? So yeah, and again,
What
so
am I
it's
looking at?
hand cannons, auto rifles, sidearms, scouts, submachine guns. So you notice all mostly primaries, but not all, and that's why I think one of the most powerful all-around weapons these days is Ariana's Vow, because it's an exotic hand cannon that I think it's unstoppable by design. Like you don't need to mod it. It
Bungie
already
loves
does
the hand
that.
cannons. Yeah.
All right, so I'm not going to unlock any of this stuff now. I'll just take it.
No.
It's fine.
Guardian,
The amount of time investment.
I greet you in the light.
Hi.
It is I, Mithrax, or Mithrax, as your people say.
I'll say it the way I
speak
want.
to you through a servitor we liberated from the House of Salvation.
How's it going?
It fuels our camp now, turning raw matter into the ether we need to survive. I will use it to study the paradrome cube you recovered from the Vex. In this way, it will provide for us both. We are settling into your city. You may have seen the work of the House of Light scribe Ido, my daughter. She has been creating a chronicle of our journey. But there will be time for that later. This city holds great scholars and warriors. Ikora, Osiris, Lakshmi too, even the Saint. They have
They don't like
to
him.
aid in your fight against the machines, and I will be your guide. I am a sacred Splicer, one who can touch the light rippling through the Vex networks. For the light is all. The wind through the grass, and the motion of galaxies. In this way, I can see into the Vex domain. But your abilities might grow beyond mine. I have
I don't
prepared
know.
something for you. A Splicer gauntlet. The first made for a non-Elixir. The ether it pulls from defeated foes will let you override the Vex signals. Push back and enter the machine domain as you did on Europa. Bring me data from within, and together we will discover its secrets. Fight bravely. Free your people from this endless night.
Let's see if we can free everybody. Okay, so this is basically like the device and the motivation for what you're going to do next.
No, I can't do it next because the
Well, not
light
you,
level
but
of
I'm
this
saying
activity is too
players.
high. But you remember the skeleton keys?
Yes,
So skeleton keys are back, kind of.
sort of, maybe. They just renamed it.
You do the override activity, and you use this Splicer gauntlet to craft key codes to open the chests that give you loot. So basically, the more of these you have, up to the limit you can get in a week, it's worthwhile to have when you go in there because you get more chests open. Unlike skeleton keys, it's not like a rare loot. I think basically you just grind progress towards them steadily as you play, instead of it being this
is
really
my
weird thing where
least
like
favorite word.
yeah,
Grind.
when you kill a major, there's like a tiny percentage chance that one key may drop, and now you've got your one key, so you can go. So it's not as bad as skeleton keys, but it is still the same idea. You don't just get all the loot by choosing the activity once a week and doing it, because you have to grind this thing up for key codes before you do that if you want the full benefit.
Yeah. And what benefit is that, really? You've expended
You know,
time.
I don't know what the loot is. I think it's more umbral
Yeah.
engrams that you can tune for various stuff.
Don't worry.
Okay,
Whatever it is, they're going to change the sliders on it. The definitions of it's suddenly going to get complained at. Oh my god, it's overpowered. And then they're going to nerf it into oblivion. And then they're going to bring it up to some kind of a middle ground. And by that time, you've forgotten because now there's a new thing to repeat the process.
Okay, so Mithrax explains he's a sacred splicer, trained to interface with the light threaded through the Vex network, impressed with your mastery. I mean, this is basically just a summary of what Mithrax just actually said. Okay, and now this is a bounty vendor. So,
Yeah, saw
and
this coming.
again, so it's kind of like what we were doing with Varix before.
Yes.
right?
Well, not just Varix,
or
but
with the
also with
Drifter.
the
You know, this isn't the
whatchamacallit.
artifact. It's another thing. I don't even know if there's a word for it, but yeah, basically, this is how we
Right, but
progress.
no, don't you
in
remember the
override
first reiteration of this? I think was the giant computer system that you fixed, that basically said, you know, peace
And
out
I
when the
can't
darkness
do
was
any of
coming.
these because this character is basically playing for free.
Yep. Oh, Phil Mysterious in the chat. Hi, Phil. Phil says, yeah,
Phil.
you only get one gauntlet, FYI. It collects
Yes, so
ether
it's-
as you play in the game,
Yeah, so
and
you
then
don't
use it
have
to collect.
you don't
ether
have to
construct
grind
keys.
it on each character. You have one of these
Right.
per account. Play on any of your characters
And it
does
applies.
progress. But it also means
Yeah.
that it's gated, because once you've gotten the maximum you can get, you can't just, okay, well, now I'll hop onto another character and I will double my return. You can't. You're done.
You're not going to farm it. It's not farmable.
So you can spread the grind over 3 characters if you want, or you can do it all on one, but either way, when you're done, you're done.
You're done. Yeah. You can only have fun, but only so much fun, because that, in a way, is to not benefit the people who can grind and completely hurt the ones who can't.
Not how sleeping bags work. Inside it.
Hey, let him use it the way he wants. They weren't designed for 4-armed people.
Now, how many of the larvae are they carrying? Is it 4? I think it's 4. They got 3 up front and then 1 on the shoulder.
I don't know. They're all malnourished, so I'm sure they're doing their best.
Is that the? Yes. Yeah. See, they got 1 there on the side.
Now, here's my question: do you think by the end of this season, Mithrax will become an actual guardian? Do you think he could be allowed to join the Vanguard? Do you think he would get a ghost? I think that could be really cool, don't you?
If Crow can do it, anybody can, I guess.
Exactly. Exactly my point.
Well, okay, but I would say in that case,
I'm just wondering if you see that as a potential, or if so, would you want it?
What's been the determining factor over who gets to be a who gets to be a guardian? You get to be a guardian when a ghost finds your dead body.
Right, he chooses you.
Now, the
so
Traveler
if he
is
dies
here,
and a ghost
the
picks
is
him
here on Earth, so that's where they've been doing the picking.
Right.
But there are dead instances of all of the races in the conflict strewn all over everywhere, including Fallen.
For many, many years.
So, has it been a deliberate choice that no ghost up until now has chosen a Fallen? And is that a deliberate choice in that, we're in a war, we know what side we're on? But if you look at what happened to Prince Aldrin, right? His memories are gone. His personality appears to be entirely different as a Guardian.
Good thing.
So the whole rule there is that whoever the Guardian is not who the dead person was, not really. So why would it even matter? The ghost could have been resurrecting, any huge fallen captain you wanted, and it would have been a new person, and it could have been adopted by a Core Array, and we could have our own fallen soldiers the same way the Queen did.
Yeah.
Why not?
I'm just wondering, is that something that you would find cool or interested in, or have we literally spun off in a direction that Bungie has no intention of doing whatsoever?
But again, my question would be, if it happens now, why didn't it happen before? Given that there's not really any connection between who the dead person was and who the resurrected Guardian is. So there's no reason.
I just think conceptually that is an interesting story plot line I would like to see come to fruition. That's literally as far as I wanted to go. You delve way too far, but still. Okay, as far as chat goes, did you find the audio logs of the Fallen Refugee Camp? Yes, Phil, yes. And in fact, that's something I wanted to but missed, but Narc made sure we definitely did it here. Womprat says, regarding the complicatedness of Destiny mechanics, from the 1974 Guinness Book of World Records, the most obtuse piece of legislated bureaucracy, quote, in the nuts, unground, other than ground nuts.
Other than ground nuts order. The expression nuts shall have reference to such nuts other than ground nuts, as would but for this amending order not qualify as nuts on ground other than ground nuts by reason of their being nuts on ground.
On ground. Yep, and that I believe simply because a lot of our legalisms are buried in 19th century verbiage. So Funk would have a field day with this, I'm sure.
Okay. Now, I honestly think that to show anything else whatsoever, I have to switch characters now because I don't think this character can do anything.
Yep, but as far as Womprat goes, the complexity of Destiny, that is it. In a nutshell. On ground.
Do I have this already? No idea.
Probably. But question is, does this character?
No. But I will switch now.
Phil Mysterious says, regarding Fallen Guardians, I feel like Bungie is planning a big reset of the game after Witch Queen. If they had...
That's not till end of next year now.
Yeah. So. If they add playable Fallen or Fallen Guardians, then I think it'll happen with whatever expansion happens after Witch Queen. Yeah, I didn't know if they'd go as far as playable. It would be really awesome if they did. Don't get me wrong. There's lots of things I wish were more playable. But as far as the actual character itself or other Lixney characters becoming playable Guardians, I don't know about. I just think story-wise, as far as lore and legacy, I think it would be awesome if they actually made Mithrax as a Guardian that joins the Vanguard. I think that would be cool.
Oh yeah, I'd be okay with it.
It would certainly make things far more interesting than they've been up to now.
After Witch Queen was supposed to be when the game was supposed to end. Although again, business-wise, I think they've made the decision now that these things don't end anymore.
Nope. This is the game that doesn't end. It goes on and on, my friend. Thanks to the unground nuts complexity of it all. So, anything else that you wanted to showcase? Did you want to go back and replay the video to highlight stuff? I did just want to show
off, I think, what the light level is for Override, because I'm pretty sure that I can't even do it.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted to go through any of the cutscenes or anything.
I could do a strike, but no, I think we went over what we were shown pretty well. I don't know that we need to roll any of it back.
Okay. Well, see, I wasn't sure how long you were going to milk it. I didn't know if we were going to be short on actual media, so that would be nice. Plus, it's something we've never done. We haven't rolled back in the middle of doing a replay on any of the recordings.
Friends network unreachable. Oh, tragedy.
Did you unplug something?
No.
That's good.
Oh, and now I don't have audio.
Wait a minute. So if you go beyond light, isn't that darkness? Woo!
You'd think so.
Well, what's beyond light? More light? Lighterness? And you go from light to what? President go to middle gray. What, is it giving you an error?
Servers are not available.
Well, they are. There you are, ladies and gentlemen. That's Destiny in a nutshell.
Yeah,
Servers
the game doesn't want us to play it now.
I'm surprised they didn't rename that to Servitors are unavailable. I would have thought that would have been hysterical if they actually did that.
I think we made that joke in 2014.
What's the matter? I don't know if you can hear Chloe. I don't know if my filter is filtering out her meowing. What's the matter? She has been bugging me the whole stream. Chloe. I can hear the music. That's still playing. Womprat says, light them up, Guardian. I don't know. We're trying to just connect to the server. Lighting's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, we may have ended the stream for today.
Well, Bungie has ended the stream for us, so not by design. Phil Mysterious says it's infralight or ultralight is beyond light. Oh, well, then we know the name of the upcoming feature. We're going to ultralight, ladies and gentlemen. We've gone to a whole new spectrum. I don't think we should pay for a light spectrum we're not using, but that's just me. He says, or some other type of radiation. We've gone to thorium.
Yeah, if this fails again. Okay, I was going to say, if this fails again, I'm just going to call it. Anyway, well,
nope.
That was what we said we were going to show. We couldn't show it last week because we couldn't get into the mission, but now we've shown it. So yes, at least some of the Fallen are now our allies. Not everybody is happy about it. And by that, I mean the characters in the game, not the player base. I think the player base.
No, the player base is unhappy about other things, but then player bases are usually unhappy about something.
Did you read Shane Bishop's message already, or am I saying it now?
Oh no, Shane jumped in. Hi, Shane. He goes, yeah, is Bungie always going to make the player character kind of like RoboCop? In what aspect? Are you talking about design elements or the fact that they keep coming back and not dying?
I mean, that they're undead super soldiers. I mean, they've been doing that for a while now. The security officer in Marathon is like that because they're a cyborg, and Guardians are all like that.
Yeah, because Guardians, you can pick different species. Maybe he picked a character that was one of the recovering android robot frame things. What the Exos? The Exos.
Myth features characters that are like that, although they're not all the player character because of the nature of a strategy game.
Yes. Yeah, you could pick different species at the beginning. There were 3 available. There was human, there was Awoken, and there was the Exos.
Yep.
So my question is whether they're going to add the Fallen. That I think would be cool.
Oh, as a playable race?
That would be cool. Well, I mean, chat brought that up, and I didn't even think that far ahead, but that would be cool.
people wanted that in Halo for the longest time, and they never even really got it. Other than you could play as an elite in multiplayer, but then there was controversy about hitboxes.
The big complaint of everyone was hitboxes and body design in relation to the Spartans, where you're gonna snipe me from a mile away because now my head's gigantic. They're all worried about their stats and their multiplayer and their online getting pwned and blah blah blah. That's not a concern that I had. Shane Bishop says, yeah, the second one. I don't know. That's a question of. I would say probably they're going to be consistent with what Bungie usually does. That's about as far as I can take that statement.
I don't know that they have it in them or the desire to do something more like what Half-Life is, which is start with a character who's supposed to be more of an ordinary person.
Yeah, and then go from there.
Although, again, you see all the people on the tower, and it's just apparently normal to, be an undead cyborg. So,
Womprad in the chat says, it is the end, but the moment has been prepared for all the Doctor Who fans out there. All right, so if there's nothing else you want to show, anything else you want to say before we bail?
No, I just wanted to check the map here. Where'd I leave my map? Where's the activity? I think it's off here.
There's in there.
Oh, yes. Okay, so here we go. So the weekly activity for this season is this. It's Override.
Uh-huh.
And its light level is 1300.
Oh, wow.
That character we just left was at 1140.
Yep.
DLCs,
ways to go, boy.
DLC when they came out, if you paid for it, would bring you up to the level you're supposed to be to start. But seasons don't do that. So if you skip one, you still need to do all of the grinding.
I don't know how many seasons I've skipped. That's how many seasons I've skipped.
So this is the activity that everyone else is doing, because I've skipped a couple seasons, I basically can't do that unless I need to bring people with me. Or I need to grind other things like Strikes and Crucible and Gambit and stuff.
Get back on the horse, you lazy bastard.
Okay, you know what? Just for the heck of it.
What, you gonna go to Vault? Oh, God.
I'm gonna go to the opening. I'm just gonna go to the opening just to walk around, just to see the environment.
Careful, you're gonna get your ass shot off.
I thought they were gonna change the way this opened, because the idea was that the vault, like the Black Garden, wasn't really a physical space. It was something that it was like a multi-dimensional place that you entered. So I thought, okay, well, Venus doesn't exist, so we can't enter the vault from Venus. So they'll change the opening thing. No, they didn't. You just go to Venus. You just apparently can't go to the rest of Venus.
Right. Now, I swear that ship looks like one from Battle of the Planets.
But at least we get to see this environment.
Yeah, everybody remembers this, don't they?
I'm gonna be curious to see what the other areas look like. Like what have they done to block off access to what would have been the other parts of the patrol zone?
I want to see how long it is before you die from some sniper that's a billion levels higher than you.
Well, actually, if I don't try to take a plate, nothing should happen. I mean, this is a regular raid until I start the encounter. Nothing should happen.
I don't know. It'd be funny to see you try and solo this. Do we
not
notice any
happen.
major? Yeah, I know. Do we notice any major differences with what you remember Venus like in D1?
It looks to me like the foliage is more varied. Like where before, I think it would have been just grass. There are more flowers. That's what it looks like to me. Okay, so there we go.
Invisible! I knew there was going to be a visible wall. That is now visible.
You know what? I kind of respect that better.
What, the fact that they put a Vex wall up there to make it feel like it's part of the story that you're being blocked from continuing on for the adventure?
Fallout 4 and 76 also do a similar thing. That it's a lot of effort to try to carve out natural barriers everywhere you want a gameplay barrier. And I think it's a lot of work for very little reward. So Fallout basically puts a white picket fence there. And when you try to jump over it, it says you can't go that way. This is basically the same thing. It's saying yes, we know you should be able to go there. For the sake of what's going on right now, you can't.
You can't.
Just accept that.
Just accept it. Game development's hard. Okay, so go up and see how far you get. I'm curious whether you can get up to the entrance there.
Let me go the other side too, because there was actually a fairly sizable
you know there's going to be a barrier there. It's just a question of where. Phil says, prepare to die quickly. Yeah, I know. That's what we want. I want to see if you can actually... Sure. Can you even launch it by yourself? I didn't think soloing raids was a thing anymore.
You could always do that.
Really?
You could
I
always
never
launch
dared
them. In fact, remember, this used to overlap the patrol zone.
Yes.
So, yeah, okay. There
I know,
you
but to get in, you need to have people on plates. You need to hold people off. You need to, you
Yes,
know,
to get
how
in
can
the
you do that
door.
by yourself?
you could always glitch the door with a sparrow.
Oh, well, I know, but I don't think we can do that anymore. Is my thing.
You don't think so?
No. You want to try it? I would love to see it. That would be a nice thing for stream.
I think.
I'm waiting for you to hit a wall at
can.
90 miles an hour.
It doesn't mean that I can, but I think it's still possible.
Really? Okay, if it's still a thing, soloing raids, I think that would be fun for you to try. Wompret says in Klingon,
Okay,
yeah,
see,
today
I
is a good
touched
day to
it,
die.
so-
See, now you're triggering it. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the first raid attempt
Oh, I forgot how this weapon worked.
of Vaulted Glass. Yeah, this is the one that launches the stuff everywhere. Yeah, the
Yeah,
first
you guys are a little-
Ramsey.net
oh,
solo
wow.
raid
Okay,
of Vault of
not
Glass.
only
You're seeing it here
tanky-
first.
Not only tanky, but you kill a few, and immediately they started respawning.
I'm waiting for them all to be like 26 with red swords over the head you can't even see their levels on. Oh man, wow, this is terrible. Nope, I don't see you can do this!
Nope.
It is, the bodies hit the floor. Yeah, he literally falls midair dead. Not to mention, I don't think you totally get the gear for this. My god, it's taking you 10 rounds
Yes.
for friggin'
yeah.
one.
Well, you notice they're
one guy.
all little red swords, so.
That's what I said. I thought they would be. So I remember when I first accidentally ran into one guy in D1 over here, by total accident, and he was, I think, like a level 26, who instantly one-shot you. And I think I spent like a half an hour trying to even remotely get close and to weaken him, and it just
hello.
did not happen. Yeah, so can you get to the door and glitch through? That's what I want to see if you can even
Well,
get
you know what?
there.
I think I have to restart it here because the idea is I would have to try to approach the door without triggering the encounter. So.
Right. Well, I don't think that's going to happen. All right, I'm going to try to reload this real quick. Womprat says, Mr. President, tear down this Vex wall. Now that would be funny. Political humor. That's funny. So yeah, Narc's first attempt, not as successful as we'd hoped.
Oh no,
but
no, not at all.
we definitely applaud the effort. But he's going to try to reload real quick and see if we can glitch through this thing. I don't think you can do it anymore. I thought they fixed it.
It's a question of whether they trigger the encounter by touching one of the plates or just by
think it's
advancing
proximity.
towards the door.
Yeah. I
And
think
once
it's
you're
proximity. I think-
closer to the door than the plate.
Yeah, that's it. It's just going to launch. I mean, it used to be where you had to get on plates, but now I think they changed it. And because you're by yourself, I don't think there's anything to stop it.
Well, let's see.
Let's find out. Womprat says, nice spin. Yeah, he did spin right when he was dead. That looked cute. He calls that the periwinkle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
see,
it's just
boom.
proximity.
Yep, it's proximity. I knew it. I knew it. Get me out of here.
Well, in that case, then what I should be doing is I should be trying
run
to
it.
rush it.
Yep. Quick, we're gonna try to pull a Funkmon. We're gonna try to speed run to the door, assuming you can survive on the. No. Sad thing is, because of the way that sparrows work now, you become an instant bullet magnet. Or in this case,
once
laser
more.
magnet.
One more.
Once more onto the breach. See, now the funny thing is that now he's bitten by the bug. Now he's gonna get OCD obsessed about it, and he's gonna be trying to break through this thing for an hour after the stream ends, just so he can do it.
Did they? By the way, did you hear? Did they finally fix the glitch in the opening of Deepstone Crypt or not?
To be honest, I have not followed up or heard
'Cause I know they
anything.
tried. I know they tried to fix it a couple of times, and new workarounds came out each time. Last time I looked.
And I take it the workarounds didn't work.
Yeah, no, you just did a slight variation of the same thing by crossing the gap into an area by getting on a vehicle. You basically don't get the debuff that they're trying to put on you, which means that basically you
Right.
can just drive and or walk to the end of the encounter without having to engage with the mechanic of going to the heated areas to stop yourself from freezing.
Yeah. Now I have a feeling you may not have the sparrow skills to get there up as fast as need be, or the fact that they've timed the spawning to the point where even if you do try to oh, we made it! It'll work. So now the question's, how long do you think you can survive? And because you're a Titan, you probably should put up a barrier in front of you.
Yeah. Okay.
So now, you can survive a little longer.
I'll call it there. I don't think it's... If it's possible, you'd have to be strong enough to survive a few hits to make it work.
Well, you made it. All you had to do was put up a barrier so you could try bouncing through a couple times, and that would have done it. So, I don't know. Assuming you can, with the timing, it might be a potential, but even if you get through the door, there's going to be something that's going to one-shot you anyway.
Oh, true, but if you just get in the door, I think that gives you one chest. So.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. All right, so maybe we want to farm it. All right, so do you want to call it here, then?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, I think it's time to get the F out of Dodge. Well, that was fun. That definitely went better than last time, and we're sorry for everyone last attempt that unfortunately did not get to see what we intended to show. But here it is. Right. There we are. Mithrax in all his glory. Yes, Mithrax.
We love Mithraxes to... Mithrax?
Gesundheit. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. We certainly hope you enjoyed. Please stay tuned for all of our other new exciting adventures on Rampancy.net's YouTube channel. And we're also over on Twitch if you want to prefer that. That delay is way less. So for chat people who want more close to real time, Twitch is where it's at. I'm going to have links in the stream in the description below. And, also, feel free to check out our Rampancy.net/schedule where we'll have a listing there for all of our stuff, for all the random things. We're not doing our normal everyday Saturdays at 3 p.m. EDT all the time now. We've got a little bit more free time. That's why we're doing some midweek streams, so there may be more of those in the future. Check out the schedule there for updates for content when and where. Until then, I am Blackstar, he is Nargajan, we are Rampancy, and we certainly hope to catch all of you next time. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
This morning, for the first time in humanity's long and storied history, the sun did not rise. It's a Vex simulation that has plunged the city into an endless night. Osiris and I could only think of one we might turn to. Mithrax. He claims to be among the last sacred Splicers.